I went from this to this in the matter of 5, 6, 7 years. I also went from having debt and being in a bad place to having hundreds of thousands of dollars and being on track to be a millionaire in about 5 years. And so I want to teach you what I've done to get there. In your life, you're going to go through learning what you actually want. You're going to learn what you believe. You're going to learn what you think about the world and how you think you should live your life. And so this is critical, and it's part of the growth journey. And that is going to unlock levels of change that you might not even have recognized. And so when you start questioning and really getting to know what you want, what you believe, you're going to turn those things around and start to question. Like when society tells you that you need to buy the fanciest house, or that you need to look a certain way, or dress a certain way, or you need to eat a certain way, or do things a certain way. That is not necessarily true. And so you have to figure out who you want to be like and what you want to do. What food makes you feel good? What does the science say? What path would make you feel good? Do you want to be financially free early? Do you want to be stressed? Do you want to live really far out? What job do you actually want to do? Do you want to go buy all the fanciest and fast fashion and things of that nature? Maybe you don't, and that's okay. So figure out how you want to live your life and what you believe and what you value, and that can transform so much. I know it did for me. Going along with this, I started learning about myself. I started getting more aware. I learned about it in my undergraduate degree, my Bachelor of Science at Virginia Tech. We learned a lot about self-awareness, and this is key. It's a key part of emotional intelligence, which is actually one of the strongest predictors of success, even more than IQ. And so the more emotionally intelligent you can be, and part of that is self-awareness, understanding the self, understanding how you act, understanding your emotions, understanding other people. This has been critical to my success and my improvement and my own personal growth, is learning about myself, learning about what I want, what I value, what I need, but also what matters to me, my emotions, how I want to design and engineer my life, and so that I can feel a certain way, or why I would feel a certain way. Why would I feel upset? Why would I feel sad? Why would I feel these feelings? And so then I can make changes so I don't have to feel some of those things. I'm huge on engineering your life, and I realized I needed to start engineering my life. I had my life engineered when I was growing up, and I would go to my sports and I would take care of those things, and I would have my activities and things planned out. But then as an adult, you have to engineer your life, or you have a job. When I was working as a software engineer, I'd get up and be at work by 6 in the morning, and I'd sit and I could not get up from my desk except for my lunch break, where I'd go walk around for about 30 minutes, and then I just have to sit at my chair, and then you're drained. And so I had to figure out, when am I going to work out? When am I going to do things that make me feel good? And so you really just have to get clear on yourself, understand yourself, and then design your life, because maybe that job isn't going to work for you. Or maybe you like your job, you just need to make a few tweaks. So really get to know yourself, really get aware, and that's going to help you in your life, in your relationships, and on your success journey. I really had to do a lot of unlearning and relearning and reprogramming, and part of that was going onto the internet and finding these awesome people, or learning about plant-based nutrition, or learning about minimalism, or learning about financial education, or learning about millionaires and how people did these things. And so and natural living. And so I started finding these things or concepts that really I connected with. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like minimalism, I don't need to only have 30 items, but if I have less, I feel so much less stressed. I have a nice calm environment. I save more money. And so I was like, wow, like I'd love to adopt this. Why do I have all this stuff? Because we said we needed it. Or when you have a wedding and maybe you get gifts, or you put a registry out there, and I didn't know exactly what I would need. I just went off what I thought, or, oh, people said you would need this. And so I realized we actually need a lot less, or at least I do. Maybe you need more, but at least in this phase of life, I needed less, and less was more. And so some of these concepts and unlearning of some of these things was really helpful. And even with your closet, There's a lot of people who have a capsule wardrobe, and so is dressing simply. I loved having all these cute outfits and doing so much fashion and going shopping back in the day. But my priorities switched a little bit, and it gave me more time and energy to focus on other things, and that was awesome. And then plant-based nutrition, I felt so much clearer. I've always had a big appetite, and I was able to have these filling foods and eat as much food as I felt comfortable to, and I actually still felt good. I didn't feel sluggish. I didn't feel like I needed to go take a nap or my blood sugar would crash, and it worked for me. And it doesn't work for everybody, right? But you have to find what works for you and unlearn some of these things and be okay with saying, hey, this actually works for me, so I'm gonna do it. Another part of this equation is financial education. And so I've always been more inclined to save. I was kind of like Warren Buffett in a way where he started saving early, except he did something better than I, and he invested. So I started saving, I don't know, when I was 10, 11 years old. And if I would have been investing my money, and yes, I had enough to invest, I would be in such a different place. And in the future, I'll be in a different place because compound interest, it takes a while to work, but eventually you make so much money if you keep your money in the stock market and just let it ride over time. Let it ride. And so eventually I learned about the concept of investing. I had already been investing with my jobs when I was a software engineer, and then eventually with teaching. You know, if you work with HR and with the retirement companies, they will automatically put a certain percentage of your income into retirement. But I wasn't really doing anything on the outside, right? I had some of these financial concepts I was following, like living below my means and all of those things, but I didn't specifically go, hey, this is the brokerage account I'm going to open, and I'm going to invest in a Roth IRA or invest in just a regular brokerage account. I'm going to open these index funds up, etc. I didn't know. And so it was actually when we were going to buy this house in the southern end of town. And so it wasn't the best area, but it was a really nice neighborhood in a 5-bedroom house. It was beautiful, it was huge, basement, all of the good things, a couple years old. And we ended up not getting it. And so I started diving into this financial education, and it completely transformed our lives and transformed and skyrocketed our net worth. And so learn about financial education, learn about the things that you're interested in. This is critical for success. If you want something, learn from books or learn from courses or learn from people who have achieved it. So if I want to get richer, I need to go read the books to help me get richer. If I want to learn about investing, I need to read the books that teach me about investing. If I want to get healthy, I'm going to go read some books and do some research and figure out how to best weight lift, what exercises are the best, what nutrition plan will help me. And everyone's going to be different. There's a lot of information out there that you have to sift through, but eventually, at least with certain things like nutrition, you're going to find what works for you. And so be willing to learn, be willing to read. COVID was huge for me when I was able to just get on my phone and get on the computer and just start learning from people. And it truly transformed my life. Like, I was just going with the flow before that, just working a job for $40-something thousand and doing random things. I would exercise. I had some healthy habits and things of that nature, watch TV. But I completely changed after COVID and actually going to learn, going on to grow, and then taking action and changing life, right? You can't just learn, you also have to act and implement those things that you learn. Another key part was living below our means. And so we always lived in places that were like, we have lived with family. We also lived in places that were like $1,000 to live in. And some of the places we had a 3-bedroom, 3-bath place, and it was still that price, but we had to live further out. And so that made a huge difference because as we were doing that, we increased our income. I moved to a different county and my income like 90x'd. So I almost increased my income by 100%. I almost doubled it. And by doing that and making those changes and going places where I was paid more and I was seen as more valuable, or at least paid more for the same job, that really helped. And we kept our cost of living low. And so the more you can increase income but keep cost of living low is important. And we did a lot of those things, like going to thrift stores or taking hand-me-downs or just not buying certain things or borrowing things. That really helped. But I will talk about this in a second, that I really think the next level, which is what I started to do a couple of years ago, is starting to actually create things and provide value. I have this book that I wrote, and it's actually bigger than this now. This was my first draft, but creating value, coming onto YouTube, trying to share. And so starting businesses or starting to sell products and services or starting to provide more value, that's gonna take you to another level. And honestly, that's been the biggest area of self-growth. I posted to YouTube every single day and just showed up, and they're not the best quality, a lot of them, but I was teaching myself and growing and hopefully helping someone else along the way. And so going out and starting to create, that was a huge flip for me and a game changer, was that I want to serve, I want to help, and this is a way that I wanted to do that. And finding that ikigai, where you can do something to help other people, that serves the world, where you can make money that you actually enjoy. And when you find the intersection of those four things, it's life-changing. And so the more you can create using your skills, your interests, and your talents, then life is going to totally change for you. Instead of just sitting there going through the motions, you have to take action, you have to take charge, and you have to do more to get more. A lot of this was just getting conscious and getting clear, and then realizing I wanted something different. I talk about when I had my son, best blessing ever, and going through pregnancy or something that was a tiny bit challenging, or where your body changed, your hormones changed, everything, it really opened my eyes. And I had him and I was like, wow, going on a walk, this is what I'm gonna be doing for the rest of my life. This is where we're gonna raise him. This is it, you know? And I loved him so much, and it is such an incredible experience and such a gift. But I had an experience like Sarah Blakely did, the billionaire founder of Spanx, and she was selling fax machines for years and years and years, about 7 years, and then she had a particularly tough day, and she pulled over on the side of the road and just started bawling her eyes out. And she's like, this is not my life, this is not my movie. And I had a similar thing where I was like, is this my life? Is this my movie? I love my husband, I love my son, I love a lot of the things in my life, and I've done a lot of good work on myself, but nothing's gonna change unless I do. Nothing is going to change unless I change. And my friend Joycey had actually given me a book called Atomic Habits. And so I had read through that. And a lot of personal development and coaches have said that you will never change your life until you change your daily habits. You will never change your life until you change what you do daily. And so if you're not working out, if you're not creating value, if you're not learning, if you're not doing these things, you're not going to get the life that you want. And so I started studying habits of billionaires, habits of people who are successful. I started following those people and then actually starting to take action. And so if you have that life or a moment in your life where it's not necessarily bad, or maybe it is bad, maybe it's rock bottom, you can change at any time. You just have to decide. You have to decide that you're ready to change, and then you can. It's not going to happen overnight, but you will slowly start to shift. You will slowly start to see things differently. You will start to act differently. You will start to feel differently. It all takes time, and people underestimate what they can accomplish in a year, or even if you're trying to achieve a fitness goal, you're like, I want this to happen now. I want to lose the weight now. I want to feel better now. But if you keep taking actions in the right direction, you're making a vote for the person you want to be and for that ideal person. And so start shifting that. Start shifting your identity that you want to be this person. I am a healthy person. I am a rich person. I am a happy person. I am a healthy person. I am a great mother. I am a great wife, whatever it is for you. So decide that you want to change. Decide, figure out those habits, and the world will open up for you. All right, beautiful people, I hope this video was helpful. I could share even more tips and dive further into this story on how I was able to change my life. I'm continuing to change my life. It's not just, oh, I'm all done. I've met everything I want to meet. I've achieved all of my goals. And there's so much information I could pour out and share that are little things and big things that have made a difference in my life. So feel free to like and subscribe for more. Let me know if you have comments or questions, and comment below. Feel free to hit the notification bell to be notified when a new video comes out, and just join the journey. I'm all about reducing suffering in the world, helping people live happier, healthier lives, and mastering our minds, our habits, our emotions, and our mindset. And I think we can all go crush it in our own lives and help more people in the world. See you in the next one. You got this. Bye, guys.